tax on a bottle of liquor. So for Great Lakes Distillery in Milwaukee's Walker's Point, that means a reduction from about $2.14 a bottle to 42 cents, an 80% drop, saving the company more than $120,000 a year.
It was definitely a great opportunity to, have a stable income, have full-time employment was a great opportunity. Obviously help my family.
So here's the catch, though. The tax is expected to go back to its old rate at the end of next year. So lobbying groups are pushing to try to get that rate extended.
Looking live here at Wood National Cemetery in Milwaukee right now. Today, more than 45 volunteer landscapers will show support for our nation's veterans by helping make their final resting place safe and a little more beautiful. Saluting Branches is the nonprofit organization behind this effort.
It's very nice.
11 minutes after 5 and still ahead this morning, scanning strawberries. A scary reason why some companies are now using metal detectors on that fruit.
Also, heavy rain in Wisconsin forced dozens of people to evacuate and caused all sorts of problems. The major issues caused for the city of Green Bay.
And we have some more thunderstorms on the way late today and into tonight. Just a marginal risk for severe weather in western Wisconsin. We'll keep an eye on any storms that move into southeastern Wisconsin. I think there's a greater risk for severe weather tomorrow and already a slight risk for widespread severe weather in central Wisconsin. We'll talk about our chances of seeing some severe weather here in your forecast coming up.
Tonight, the Brewers will be back in action to wrap up their series against the Reds at Miller Park.
Hoping for a better night after last night's game. The Reds got on the board early. Chase Anderson giving up this 2-run shot in the first. They picked up another run but wouldn't need it. Brewers bats went quiet as the crew managed only 3 hits on the night. Brewers lose 3-1.
That's such a bummer.
Not the result we were hoping for there.
Especially after the night before.
Yep, still an opportunity to win the series tonight. And to close that gap here.
Game time, what, I think it's like 6:40.
6:40 again.
Yeah, so what do you think? You're talking about storms for tonight.
I think there is a good chance. We get some storms probably around 6, 7 o'clock. Probably close up the roof. That's the luxury we have, right?
Yeah.
Not a problem.
Game is on. All right. You may be noticing some leaves are changing across southeastern Wisconsin a little bit here. We're still at about 0 to 20% depending on where you are in southeastern Wisconsin. But we're starting to get some spots northwest up to about 50%. Pretty much from Stevens Point northwest. Some spotty locations reporting 50%. And down here in southeastern Wisconsin, your fall color report, again, as of right now, 0 to 25%. This is a live look in Waukesha, where we have a current temperature of 55 degrees. Yep, a little bit cooler this morning with some calm winds. Here in Milwaukee, it's a little bit warmer at 64 degrees with an east wind at 7 miles per hour across southeastern Wisconsin. 60s near the lake, 50s inland, 55 in Beaver Dam, 57 in Watertown. Dew points upper 50s, lower 60s. I think everybody kind of climbs into the lower 60s by this afternoon. So still some humidity to the air. Not bad. It's not like when you walk outside and you feel, oh, this is so humid. That will be tomorrow. Tomorrow will be, again, one of those really sticky days with dew points around 70, and then a cooler, refreshing air mass moves in for Friday and Saturday. Weather headlines, more storms, I think, become likely this evening and overnight tonight. Maybe our final push of true summer heat. That will be tomorrow, where we have temperatures well into the 80s and again, pretty humid as well. A cooler weekend ahead. Storm 4 Max radar, all is quiet. This light green you see here, just ground clutter near the radar site. Let's pan out here a little bit, though. You can see a couple sprinkles across central Wisconsin. Future forecast as we go through our day today. Mix of clouds and sunshine. This is 9 o'clock. I think probably more clouds than sun, and maybe a stray sprinkle possible during the day. I think we're dry during the day, but look what happens by 6, 7 o'clock, and especially by 9, 10 o'clock. Here comes our next batch of showers and storms, and maybe some heavier stuff late tonight into early tomorrow morning. This is 4 a.m. Could have some heavy rain, especially north of Milwaukee. 9:30 a.m. some showers and storms still. Now, if we clear out, and this computer model shows us clearing out by 4 or 5 o'clock, there's a chance we get a couple thunderstorms to fire up in the evening tomorrow, and those would be the ones that we'll have to watch to be on the strong to severe side. You can see them starting to line up here late tomorrow night. Additional rainfall the next couple of days, well, through Thursday morning. Looks like our northern spots, maybe ½ inch to an inch, maybe locally higher amounts, and then by Friday morning when things are all done, I think much of the area sees about an inch of rain and certainly some locally higher amounts possible to the north. All right, your forecast for today, a high temperature topping out out at 72, partly to mostly cloudy, chance of storms late. For tonight, a low temperature falling down to 66, mostly cloudy, thunderstorms likely. Here's your 7-day forecast Thursday. More storms possible, especially in the morning, and then a return Thursday night. Friday, 74. Saturday, 66 only for a high, and that'll be our first day of fall, by the way, on Saturday. 72 on Sunday, 74 Monday, and a chance of storms on Tuesday with a high of 74 at least.
All right, thanks, Brian. The roadway is looking pretty good this morning. No major incidents to tell you about. Let's take a look at travel times right now. Economwalk to Marquette, 24 minutes. Grafton to Marquette, 18 minutes. 7 Mile Road to Marquette, 14 minutes. All clear.
Some parts of Green Bay dealt with so much rain earlier in the week, the city just could not keep up. Green Bay Public Works reporting the data that they're getting back shows that the most recent storm there was an extremely rare event. You got about 6 inches of rain in just a couple of hours. That caused more than 100 evacuations, led to some 50 car rescues. Cleanup still going and expected to take days.
At the live desk this morning, President Trump is expected to tour parts of North Carolina damaged by Florence. This as cleanup is underway as Hurricane Florence is no longer in North Carolina and Virginia. Officials are warning that flooding from Florence is still a major threat. Right now, some roads are open, but they could shut down again as area bodies of water continue to swell. This morning, thousands of evacuees from Wilmington remain out of their homes. The coastal Carolina city is surrounded by water. This morning, crews are working to deliver food and water to those thousands still stuck in shelters.
It's now 5:24. Today's health now. Air pollution has long been linked to heart disease, stroke, and also breathing problems. But a new study suggests it may also increase the risk of dementia. Researchers in London found people living in the most polluted areas of that city were 40% more likely to develop dementia, regardless of whether they were smokers or had diabetes. Experts say this does not mean pollution causes dementia, but it may be a contributing factor. Try not to worry if your little one won't eat peas. We all have that problem, right? A new study shows stress over fussy eating prompts parents to pressure or even reward kids at mealtime. Experts say these practices can lead to even pickier eating, which increases preferences for unhealthy foods and excess weight gain.
It's 5:20 trending today. Some companies in Australia have to go to extreme measures to make sure that their strawberries are safe. They've been using metal detectors to scan the berries because someone has been hiding needles and pins in fresh strawberries sold across that country. At least one person ended up in the hospital. Several brands have been recalled.
It's 5:21 and up next on Live at Daybreak on today's TMJ4, how an NBA great is doing his part to help those hit by Hurricane Florence.
Plus a fire in the sky that sucked up a firefighter's hose.
Happening today, the person accused of murdering a University of Iowa student, Molly Tibbetts, will be back in court.
Christian Rivera is facing first-degree murder charges in her death. Back in July, Tibbetts disappeared after going for a jog. Her body was found in a cornfield just miles from where she vanished. And this comes as another student from Iowa was murdered this week. Celia Barquin was a champion-level golfer at Iowa State. This week, officers found her body in a pond on the golf course. She had several stab wounds to her upper torso, head, and neck. Barquin was about to be honored as the Iowa State Female Athlete of the Year this weekend.
There's nothing that Celia did or didn't do that caused this. It was, just a senseless, random act.
Authorities arrested 22-year-old Colin Daniel Richards and have now charged him with first-degree murder.
Terrible. It's 5:25. An NBA legend is stepping up to help those impacted by Hurricane Florence. Michael Jordan has donated $2 million toward the relief effort. He is from North Carolina and now owns the Charlotte Hornets. This week, members of the Hornets organization plan to partner with food banks and also pack disaster food boxes for storm victims in both North and South Carolina.
A fire tornado took the hose along with it. Check out this video out of Canada. Wildfire raging, and it produced sort of a fire tornado effect and pulled the firefighters' hose high into the air.
Oh my gosh.
An officer said the fire tornado was caused by heat rising off of the wildfire as well as extremely high winds.
Oh, that sounds horrible.
Very dangerous work out there. 5:26 coming up. Calls for the UW-Whitewater chancellor to resign. Why a common council member is leading that charge.
Also, what some local teenagers are doing to stop carjackings.
Nice and quiet out here this morning. We have a temperature in Milwaukee at 64 degrees. Winds out of the east at 7 miles per hour. Dew point at 61. Again, we're quiet this morning. Cooler too inland, temperatures in the 50s. Now when we see one more big push of summer weather and when we get some more storms to work into southeastern Wisconsin coming up.
Right now from Milwaukee, this is today's TMJ4, live at daybreak.
Now at 5:30, explosions in the same Wisconsin city, how you can help federal investigators and the reward involved to track the suspects down.
Plus, walking out of prison, the woman who helped kidnap Elizabeth Smart will be set free today. Why Smart says she is still a danger to the public.
And let's take a live look outside. This is West Bend. Good morning, West Bend. No fog to speak of right now as we get started, but definitely notice the change in temperature, perhaps. Good morning, everybody. Thanks so much for waking up with us on Live at Daybreak. It's Wednesday. I'm Susan Kim.
And I'm Vince Vetrano. Start you off with weather and traffic together. Storm Team 4 meteorologist Brian Niznansky. Largely quiet today, but you're looking ahead to some storms maybe?
Yeah, first another chance of storms is going to be this evening. So most of your day dry. At the bus stop this morning, besides a stray sprinkle, I think we're looking pretty good. 62 degrees in Milwaukee and Racine, Waukesha at about 56. Storm 4 max radar. Quiet here in southeastern Wisconsin. A couple of sprinkles over towards Adams and Juneau County, up towards Shawano and approaching Green Bay this morning. Here's your timeline. As we go through the day, mix of clouds and sunshine at 7 o'clock, 62. By 11 o'clock, 68 degrees. By 2 o'clock, 72. And by 5 o'clock, 72. By then, we could have some thunderstorms at least knocking on the door, if not here already. We'll time out this evening's round of storms and maybe some more again tomorrow in your forecast coming up, Elise.
All right, thanks, Brian. No incidents to tell you about right now on the roadways. Let's go ahead and take a look at travel times this morning. Hale to Mitchell, 5 minutes. Marquette to 7 Mile Road, 14 minutes. Mitchell to Hale, 5 minutes.
Now to a follow-up on a story that we first told you about yesterday morning right here on Live at Daybreak. Right now, a reward for anyone with information about a mysterious explosion in New Berlin.
So several agencies are now involved in this unusual case. Our Sean Gallagher joins us live now. He is in New Berlin. And Sean, what have you learned so far?
Yeah, Susan and Vince, I've been reaching out to all these agencies to see if there's any new information about these two devices found or what they're investigating here. Still early in the morning, so haven't heard back from them, but we know that they were investigating two explosive devices found here on Coffee Road in New Berlin. Coffee Road was closed for nearly 24 hours as they continued investigating. Now, the ATF did tweet this out yesterday. You can see the areas where they're investigating under tents along the roadside, some charred area where an apparent device exploded. And that helps explain why we saw police dogs on the scene Monday night. There was a heavy police presence on Coffee Road, and the ATF says the first device actually exploded Saturday morning. The second was on Monday afternoon. Now, no one was hurt, but they did find evidence of the two devices, and I spoke with We Energies yesterday. They told me they were called to the scene because frayed wire was found here. They say it was a neutral wire and didn't need to be taken care of by them. Now, the ATF is offering a $5,000 reward for any tips that lead to them finding who is responsible for this. We have information on how you can contact the ATF on our website, tmj4.com. In New Berlin, Sean Gallagher, today's TMJ4.
All right, thanks for that information, Sean. It's 5:33. Also new this morning, Milwaukee police are investigating a deadly shooting. Now, this happened at about 8:30 last night near 53rd and Hampton. Officers say someone shot and killed a 45-year-old man during some sort of argument that took place inside a house there. Firefighters did try to save the victim, but he died at the scene, and police are still looking for suspects. Today, an autopsy is scheduled after a man shot and killed near 6th and Lincoln. Police say that shooting happened shortly after noon yesterday, so right in the middle of the afternoon. No suspects have been named or arrested as police investigate a motive.
A Whitewater Common Council member wants UW-Whitewater's chancellor to resign. This comes after sexual harassment allegations against her husband. The councilwoman claims that Beverly Copper's husband, Pete Hill, groped her. Hill lost his job as associate to the chancellor, and the university has since banned him from campus. He continues to deny the allegations.
At the live desk, we are keeping an eye on a Utah prison this morning as one of Elizabeth Smart's kidnappers is expected to be released today. Wanda Barzy aided in kidnapping then teenager Smart in 2002 and helped hold her captive for 9 months. Smart was just 14 years old. The Utah Board of Pardons announced that Barzy will be freed from prison today after 15 years in custody because Utah authorities miscalculated the amount of time she should serve. Now, Smart warns the 72-year-old is too dangerous to be released to the public. Barzy's husband, Brian Mitchell, remains in prison, serving life in prison without the possibility of parole.